The moment you stop letting the world control your reactions is the moment you become unstoppable. Intro: what if I told you that right now, in this very moment, you possess a superpower that most people never discover? What if I revealed that this power could transform every setback into a setup, every obstacle into an opportunity, and every moment of chaos into your greatest triumph? You're about to discover the most game-changing mindset shift that separates champions from victims, leaders from followers, and legends from the forgotten. This isn't about pretending problems don't exist or living in denial. This is about developing an unshakable inner fortress that nothing and no one can penetrate. By the time this message ends, you'll understand why the most successful people in history all shared one common trait. They acted as if nothing could affect them. Get ready to unlock the mindset that will revolutionize your entire existence. Your emotional state is your most valuable currency, and like any currency, you must guard it fiercely. When you allow external circumstances to dictate your internal world, you're essentially handing over the keys to your kingdom to strangers. Think about this deeply. Every time you react emotionally to criticism, setbacks, or unexpected challenges, you're giving away your power for free. The person who remains calm in chaos isn't cold or disconnected. They're strategically brilliant. They understand that emotional reactivity is the enemy of clear thinking, and clear thinking is what separates solutions from problems. When you master your emotional responses, you become like a skilled chess player who sees 10 moves ahead while others are still reacting to the last move. Your emotional stability becomes your competitive advantage because while others are drowning in their feelings, you're building your empire. This doesn't mean you become emotionless. It means you become emotionally intelligent. You feel everything, but you choose your responses based on what serves your highest good, not what feels good in the moment. The most powerful people in any room aren't the loudest or the most aggressive. They're the ones who remain centered regardless of the storm around them. When you stop being a victim of your emotions, you start becoming the architect of your destiny. Perception shapes reality more than reality shapes perception, and this is where your true power lies. The same event can destroy one person and make another person stronger, and the only difference is how they choose to interpret what happened. When you act as if nothing affects you, you're not denying reality. You're choosing to focus on the aspects of reality that empower you rather than the aspects that diminish you. Every challenge contains within it the seeds of opportunity, but only those who look beyond the surface can see it. The person who gets fired and immediately starts planning their business empire thinks differently than the person who gets fired and starts planning their pity party. The difference isn't their circumstances, it's their perspective. Your mind is like a powerful computer, and whatever program you run determines your output. If you run the victim program, you'll get victim results. If you run the champion program, you'll get champion results. The most successful people have trained themselves to automatically reframe every situation in terms of opportunity rather than obstacle. They ask themselves empowering questions like, "How can this serve me?" instead of disempowering questions like, "Why is this happening to me?" This mental discipline isn't natural. It's developed through consistent practice. But once you master it, you become virtually unstoppable because every experience becomes fuel for your growth rather than evidence of your limitations. Energy is everything, and energy flows where attention goes. When you allow yourself to be affected by negativity, criticism, or setbacks, you're literally feeding those forces with your most precious resource, your life force energy. Think of yourself as a high-performance vehicle designed for success. Every time you get upset, angry, or discouraged, you're essentially putting sugar in your gas tank. You're sabotaging your own performance with toxic fuel. The person who acts as if nothing affects them has learned to be selective about where they invest their energy. They understand that attention is like sunlight. Whatever you shine it on grows stronger in your experience. If you focus on problems, problems multiply. If you focus on possibilities, possibilities expand. This isn't positive thinking. This is strategic thinking. You have a finite amount of mental and emotional energy each day, and successful people treat this energy like the precious commodity it is. They don't waste it on things they can't control. people who don't matter, or situations that don't serve their vision. Instead, they channel all their energy toward their goals, their growth, and their contribution to the world. When you stop leaking energy through worry, complaint, and reactivity, you become like a laser beam, focused, powerful, and capable of cutting through any obstacle. The difference between scattered light and laser light is focus, and the difference between ordinary people and extraordinary people is where they focus their energy. Your response to adversity is your signature in the universe, and it determines everything about your future trajectory. When challenges arise, and they will arise for everyone, you have a choice. You can either collapse under the weight of difficulty or use that same weight as resistance training for your character. The person who acts as if nothing affects them has internalized a profound truth. Every obstacle is actually a gift in disguise, designed to make them stronger, wiser, and more capable. Think about a muscle that's never challenged by weight. It remains weak and underdeveloped. Your character is exactly the same way. The difficulties you face aren't punishments. They're promotions in disguise. They're the universe's way of asking, "Are you ready for the next level?" Most people fail this test because they interpret challenges as evidence that something is wrong. But champions interpret challenges as evidence that something is right. They're being prepared for something greater. Every setback is a setup for a comeback, but only if you maintain the right perspective. The person who remains unshakable in the face of adversity sends a clear message to the universe. I'm ready for more responsibility, more opportunity, and more success. Your consistent response to difficulty becomes your reputation with life itself. When life sees that you can't be broken by small challenges, it starts trusting you with bigger opportunities. Your problems aren't trying to stop you, they're trying to promote you. Mastery over yourself is the foundation of mastery over everything else in your life. The person who can control their reactions possesses the ultimate form of freedom because they're no longer enslaved by external circumstances. This self-mastery isn't about suppressing emotions or pretending to be invincible. It's about developing such a strong sense of self that nothing outside of you can knock you off your center. When you truly understand your own worth and power, other people's opinions become irrelevant noise. When you're crystal clear about your purpose and direction, temporary setbacks become minor detours rather than permanent roadblocks. The unshakable person has done the inner work to build an identity that isn't dependent on external validation, circumstances, or outcomes. They know who they are regardless of what happens to them. This inner stability creates outer success because when you're not constantly being thrown off balance by life's ups and downs, you can maintain consistent action toward your goals. Most people live their lives like leaves blowing in the wind, changing direction with every gust of circumstance. But the person who acts as if nothing affects them is like a mountain. Weather passes over it, seasons change around it, but it remains steadfast and unmoved. This doesn't happen overnight. It's developed through daily practices of self-discipline, meditation, reflection, and conscious choice-making. Every time you choose your response instead of reacting automatically, you're building this inner strength. Every time you remain calm in chaos, you're programming yourself for greater success. The person who masters themselves doesn't just change their own life, they become a force for positive change in everyone around them. The choice is yours, and it's available to you right now. You can continue living at the mercy of every external force, every opinion, every setback, and every surprise that life throws your way. Or you can make the decision today to develop the mindset that transforms you from victim to victor, from reactor to creator, from someone who gets affected by life to someone who affects life. This isn't about becoming cold or disconnected from the world around you. This is about becoming so connected to your own power, your own purpose, and your own potential that nothing can shake your foundation. When you act as if nothing affects you, you're not denying reality. You're choosing to engage with reality from a place of strength rather than weakness. You're deciding to be the author of your story rather than a character in someone else's drama. The most successful, fulfilled, and impactful people throughout history all shared this one trait. They remained unshakable in their commitment to their vision regardless of what the world threw at them. They understood that their inner world creates their outer world, and they guarded their inner world like the treasure it is. Your time is now. Your moment is here. The world is waiting for the version of you that can't be stopped, can't be shaken, and can't be defeated. Start acting as if nothing affects you, and watch everything in your life change. Thank you for investing this time in your transformation. Remember, knowledge without action is just entertainment, but knowledge with action is pure power. Take what you've learned here and apply it immediately. Your future self is counting on the decisions you make today. Go out there and show the world what an unshakable person looks like in action. Your breakthrough is not coming, it's already here.